if you continue to do things which which give you uh, that pleasure, satisfaction, uh, purpose, then that's not work. That's you're enjoying all the time.
This is Siddharth Aluwalia. Welcome to the 100x Entrepreneur Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Prime Venture Partners, an early stage VC fund led by Amit Somani, Shripati Acharya, and Sanjay Swami. Prime is often the first institutional investor in category creating tech startups in fintech, SaaS, healthcare, and education, such as Mygate, Neo, and Reco. To know more about Prime, visit primevp.in. Today we have with us Padma Shri-awardee Sanjeev Kapoor, who is a famous Indian celebrity chef, entrepreneur, and television personality. We all grew up watching him. Sanjeev hosted the popular TV show Khana Khazana, the longest running show of its kind in Asia, which broadcasted in 120 countries and in 2010 had 500 million viewers. Sanjeev is a self-confessed geek, and his love for technology led him to create Wonderchef, a premier cookware and kitchen appliance brand, and which brought about a revolution in Indian kitchen through the kind of products, the innovative technology is built on. And I'll leave up to Sanjeev. Welcome to the podcast, Sanjeev.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to host you, Sanjeev. I clearly remember growing up watching you on TV, and we were forced to watch because my mom started liking you because my mom used to say, this is my time, right? The evening time is for Saas Bahu serials. I'm talking back in 90s, but Khana Khazana time is her time, and I think that's for millions of households.
True. Yeah, because I think cable and satellite television was new. So 92 ZTV started. That's when I started. I was pretty young. I was in my 20s when I started that. So it was something which was first of its kind, resonated with the viewers. It was a sincere, honest show and did really well. It was something I don't think anybody had imagined that it will see this kind of success. And while this show was the first of its kind, but soon there were probably, I don't know, hundreds that followed. But I guess we were doing a few right things, I guess, which made it popular and successful.
It made a legendary landmark in all our memories, right? In spite of the hundreds of shows, every household still remembers Khana Khazana.
Sure. Yeah, that's. I think, as I said, that it was a sincere, honest show, and not just that. So I did Khana Khazana continuously for 19 years, and the reason I stopped that was because I started my own TV channel, FoodFood, and we've got similar kind of love on that also. The shows that I host on FoodFood TV channel, so we still continue to get that. Again, there are hundreds of shows, but we still top the charts, which is a good situation to be in. It's though now there is food everywhere, which is fantastic, and it's I think the whole game has become very big, which probably started with just one show, but now it's everywhere. Recipes, food, on social media, on TV, on everywhere. It's something that it touches many more people than what it used to.
Sanjeev, I would like to ask you on your various entrepreneurial ventures, like talk more about Wonderchef. What is it in more detail, the scale it impacts, right, and the other ventures which you are currently pursuing?
Sure. So, see, I've been a content person at heart. That's what I do. So, my first extension of the television show was my books, which we used to publish, and we still continue to do that. And then we took content onto digital platforms. So sanjeevkapoor.com website and business of that, creating community of that. And then that led to creating communities on social media also, YouTube. We have a Sanjeev Kapoor Khazana channel, then Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. So again, it's content and commerce that's there. Again, then we took content to next level about 11 years ago when I started my own TV channel, FoodFood. So that's something I did. At the same time, I realized that while content is something that people are consuming and paying for, there was a need for uh, things which people would use in kitchen. And I would, let's say, if I used a mixer grinder on my show, people would ask me, "Where did you get this? Which one is it?" And I would travel the world and I would pick up the best globally, and I would use on the show because it was fun to use good quality stuff, and people would want that. And I realized that there was an opportunity there. So that's how Wonderchef was born. So we do that, and we have other things. We have our own production house where we produce TV content, digital content, ad films. So that's what we do. But our focus is only food. That's what we specialize in. So we have our own studios of which specialize in food film. So our talent is like that. Our facilities are like that. Our equipment is like that. Everything is focused around that. Then I also dabble with newer things that are coming up. So, for example, I have uh, I have a venture where we are looking at how content can become smarter for users and consumers, and we bring in AI into that and a lot of machine learning into that. And that's something which started as an audio first, something that we did on Amazon Alexa,
Yeah.
and yeah, so that's something which it's something which I would say we were world's first to do that. So I play around with that, and now uh, with this pandemic, I realized that food is important, but at the same time, we have to look at health more. So what we were looking at was tasty, healthy food. But I realized that health quotient of food, if we can deliver more through whatever interventions that we can think, whether it was functional foods, whether it was nutraceuticals, whether it is medicine. So in last 1 year, that's something that I have started working on, and I'm working with two pharma companies. So we have signed two joint ventures there on creating the new products, which would be which would be, you could say they are uh, tasty medicines, or you could say they are foods which have loads and loads of medicinal benefit. And that's something that is new. At the same time, we have a venture with the Amazon, where it's called KitFresh, where we have meal kits, which is delivered to you, and you can. It's a recipe is there, everything is there. It's pre-cut, prepared. A lot of preparation is done, and you can cook fresh food, and you don't have to worry about the recipe, how it will turn out. All those things are given. So if you love to cook, you want to take that. Uh, you want to take that pain away of prepping. So we say that we do the prep, you be the chef. So that's what KitFresh is. So I would say, all in all, these are a few things that we do.
Awesome. And how many people does the brand Sanjeev Kapoor employ today?
Oh my God. So I think in terms of employment, if I were to say, uh, it would be lots. They may not be all directly employed by us, but by our brand. So for example, let's say if we have a restaurant, yeah, I forgot to mention we have about 65 odd restaurants that we have. So let's say if typically a restaurant employs 50 people, right? They may not be all on our payroll, right? But that's the staff of our restaurant. So that itself could be about 3,000 people. Another 500 would be at yeah, now it's little less, so 500. Otherwise, we had about 700 people uh, at Wonderchef that we employ. Then other people in our corporate office, TV channel, all of that. So another maybe 100, So all in all, yeah, you could say about 4,000 people. Yeah.
Awesome. So, Sanjeev, I would like to trace back to your roots, right? Can you share more about your family, growing up, and all before Khana Khazana?
Yeah, so normal childhood. Father worked in a bank. Mom looked after us. I have one older brother, one younger sister. I was born in Ambala. I've never lived there. It's reason because dad was working there. That's why I'm born there. But maximum time I've spent is in Mumbai. That's where I have lived. Uh, Good student, and just at that time didn't want to do what everybody else who was good in studies would do, either become an engineer or a doctor. I thought I'd do something different, and that different led me to doing course in hotel management from Delhi, Pusa. And then again, I said that I don't want to do what everybody else was doing. So I thought, okay, I'll do cooking. And that was something which was being different, which was something which was like really standing out in terms of having the guts to do that. And uh, that has been my strength, that I can stand out from the crowd. I can take that risk. And I did that, and it worked well for me, because when I started to cook, at that time there were not too many educated chefs.
Yes.
So that helped again. So my professional career moved very fast. Within 8 years, I was at the top of my professional peak in hotels, in kitchen. I was executive chef of a large hotel. I had received the award of the best chef of India when I was not even 28. So that that's something which I felt happy. That it also bothered me at the same time, that if you've reached a professional peak, what next?
Yeah.
So then I decided that okay, maybe I've not studied enough. So I joined a part-time course at Narsi Munji Institute of Management Studies. I joined Masters in Marketing Management. Then suddenly there was an opportunity to do one episode uh, for a new upcoming channel, the food show. So that from one episode, I converted that as an opportunity to 19 years of that. So that's something that takes effort, that takes intelligence, that takes persistence. It takes a lot of things you have to do right, and so I did that, and in some sense, as they say, rest is history. Yeah.
And Sanjeev, if I may ask, how is the drive there to be so different, right? You took so many different choices from the beginning, right?
Hmm.
And so, what's the reason behind this drive? If you go back,
I think it's who you are. It's who you are. It's intrinsic to you. That's your character. And once you start to enjoy it, you enjoy it more. So it is, and motivation is so. For example, I never used to smoke or drink or anything. And when I joined hotel management, and says, no, I don't smoke or drink. Says, oh, 1 month and you will start everything. Now, sure enough, everybody was doing that. Now, for me, it is important that what everybody is doing, I will not do it. So just to have that kick of standing out, that I'm not like you, I'm not crowd. Now that what's the motivation? I think it's just the fun of being different. There is not always there's logic. It's just that it's a challenge to yourself that can I do it? Can you do something that everybody else is not doing? Is that something people think that you are stupid if you are not part of a crowd? It's not that I would do that with everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you pick and choose your battles, and you focus on few things, and you do that, and it's something which is becomes a part of you. It becomes who you are. It defines you, and then people start expecting that. Then people say, "Oh, everyone is doing this. You will not." Yes, I would not. So for example, when I was doing hotel management, that used to be a diploma course. I said, okay, let's do something. So you could do graduation, but in science, which I was a science student, there was no, you could not do through correspondence. You could do it through commerce stream. So most of our other batchmates were either doing arts stream or commerce stream. Now, commerce was considered a little higher
Yeah.
than arts. So I said, okay, I'll do commerce. Then there was something which was either you could do BCom or you could do BCom honors. I was the only one who did BCom honors. I was a science student. People say, are you mad? You don't know commerce. You don't know this. More you tell me that I cannot, I will. Right? So it's just it starts to motivate you, and you drive yourself. When somebody challenges you, you want to prove somebody wrong, and then over a period of time it becomes it's like that. Oh my god, this chili is so hot you cannot eat it. Okay, I'll tell you how you can eat it. That's it.
So being comfortable with discomfort was your strength from the beginning, and which you kept on honing over a period of time.
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, you could. Yeah, because then that becomes part of you, that you start to breathe that, and it you start taking pride in that. That's the challenge. That's the fun of it, and more you do that, more you achieve it. It's again it fuels you more.
It gets reinforced.
That's correct. Yeah.
And Sanjeev, from the point of Khana Khazana, how did you, thought of starting various ventures, right? Or like the building blocks of it. Like, I believe it would have kept you very busy, right? And you would have a comfortable career in it. So then moving out, so these thought of building businesses brick by brick, right, over a period of time. So how did the train of thought start on?
So once you start to do something, so I'm a very impatient person, and I need something new every time. I get bored with routine. So for me, my learning is my passion. I love to learn, and so when you learn more things, you also that learning creates opportunities, and those opportunities are something which they look like sitting duck, that I can do it, right? And it's something that you feel, oh, it'll be nice to do this. And if you enjoy something, if you like something, then there's no pressure in that. You just do it, and it's something that you do to learn. And while you're learning something new, you see that, oh, you started earning also. And when you do that, it just kind of starts to gather more momentum. It scales up. But I do all of that without putting any pressure on me. I want to do it at a pace that I can enjoy. So that's how I've done till now. And uh, so as I said, that in last 1 year I have signed two new ventures. And why did I do it? I said, wow, this is exciting. I don't know this. I don't know the world of medicine, right? I understand food, but today I always enjoy that. Tell me a chef who understands how satellites for TV work, how what kind of coating on a pan or material for cookware, or how do microwave ovens work, or how to when you're interviewing somebody for artificial intelligence and different things. How many chefs would understand about NLPs and things like that? And it's not uh, that easy. And so when I started to learn more about all the medicine that, but see, medicine in your mind, right from childhood, medicine is, oh my God, it's so bad. Why? Because you don't think of a medicine which can taste good.
Absolutely.
So it's a kind of something you say medicine, it's not tasty, right? So if I can give you something which is good for health and is tasty, you will not think of it as a medicine, while it will have beneficial effect. So that's what I want to focus on. And as I learn, I'd say, oh my God, it's not rocket science. It is not something which is so difficult. So I'm enjoying it, and while I enjoy it, I create more opportunities, more business. But the underlying thing is that it has to satisfy me. So do it. I'm a selfish person. I only do it because I enjoy it, right? Uh, there are other beneficiaries in the process, but at the core of it, when it starts. So, for example, um, now last year when lockdown started, from next day I started supplying food to hospitals. We scaled it up. We did lakhs and lakhs of meals. 15 days ago, because second wave started, uh, we started working on it, and that's why I got late. I'd gone to a kitchen to see and how we're doing. So today we're doing about 16,500 meals every day to doctors and nurses, and in about 8 cities all over India. Right? So it's something which why did I start it? Because I thought there was a need, but at the same time, it gives me satisfaction to do it. Again, the people who would be benefited from me, but I think I'm benefited more. I feel so. People say no, no, that's not fact. But I know that it's something that gives me a lot of satisfaction, so I do it. So at the core, if you continue to do things which give you that pleasure, satisfaction, uh, purpose, then that's not work. That's you're enjoying all the time.
I can relate to it, Sanjeev. So I'll share why I started along with my
Hmm.
wife, 100x entrepreneur, and why the name came behind the
Yeah.
100x entrepreneur. So as an entrepreneur, I have seen my journey 0 to 1, and then I sold my company, right? And there was a huge burning desire to learn the 1 to 100 part of
Right.
entrepreneurship. And that's why I started. I'm starting for a very selfish reason that I want to grow 100x of myself.
Correct.
And I thought, what's the best way to learn it? By
Hmm.
asking other people. And what can I give them in return? Is, uh, uh, the people who are listening to them, they'll appreciate it. And that's
Right.
the reason I started. And all the questions till now, after 120 episodes, each question is the thing which I want to learn. It's not about what audience want to learn. It's very selfish. It's what I want to learn from
Right.
Sanjeev or from the guests who are coming on the podcast.
Right.
And I enjoy doing it. I can relate to it. And I don't care about how many views come out of it. Right? Each week a podcast goes out. That contributes to my learning.
Right. Yeah. So people laugh about this. that's not true. I said, no, it is true. Most of the time, it may be true. People don't, they may not agree, they may not own up to it, but it's something that I feel. That's why people say joy of giving is more than joy of receiving, which is a fact, and it's something which we want to give. That's why we give, and it gives us more satisfaction. That's why we give. It's not that nobody is. So when you are learning also, because you want to learn, it's not that anybody has put any gun on your head and is saying, "Oh, okay, do this," because you enjoy it. It's something you feel good about. Whether it's useful, useless, you don't know, right? It's just that again, it becomes part of you, who you are, and it may be habit that you want to learn more. It is something that you feel that it is you need it. It's at times you feel that it's good for you, or it may be good for you, but at the end of it, it puts no pressure on you to do that. And things that don't put pressure on you, it means that you're enjoying your life, you're having fun. So why not?
Sanjeev, so in your business ventures, right, there are so many now. So how do you decide which part you will own and which part other partners will own?
Okay. So that's there's never an easy answer to that. The way I like to typically work is that I want to stay focused on who I am, what I want to do, and leave everything else to the partners. Uh, so I don't want to do day-to-day management. That's something that I say no. I want to work on innovation. I want to work on things. So typically, I say that what do we bring to the table? We bring expertise. People understand my name, face, brand. People understand. So that's a given. But more than that, there's an expertise that I bring. So I may not be an expert in a field, but if I start to do work with somebody, then in their chosen field, I bring in expertise, which means that if I start working with pharma companies, I will bring expertise of their category by learning it from them. And when I learn it either from them or somebody else, when I learn it from them, I give it a different perspective because they've never thought of it. And it's I've seen that when you are outside of something, the chances of innovation are very high. So I remember that we did one project for a chocolate company. We were creating some solutions for them. And I was first day I was sitting with their R&D head, and who became a very good friend. And he asked me a few questions, which I on chocolates, which I didn't have an answer to. Many things I did not know, and yet here we were. And he thought that, oh, the MD has fallen for his popularity and all, so he's got this. Anyway, I exactly knew what I was doing. So the way I take innovation projects in any categories that I have not worked before, is I tell them, you know what, I'll create something new for you, which you don't have the expertise and you don't have the knowledge with. I may not have, but I'll still work on a solution, and I should only be compensated if I give you that solution. That's very comforting to the other party because you're not charging them unless it's successful. And my logic is that if I have worked on something, I should be able to create. But let's say if I failed, still there's a lot of learning that I've got at no cost to me. Fortunately, we have not failed till date. We have not. So that chocolate company worked, and I asked, I said, what is the biggest problem in innovation in your, what prevents you? What's the problem with chocolate that you cannot? The chocolate is very tricky, and our biggest enemy is moisture, water. Okay, we worked on all the solutions we gave them were with moisture. Everything that we gave them was with moisture. So that R&D head also had become a very good friend after few months and all of that. I said, how? I said, because I know you will never go there because you don't see that what's the opportunity there. So I started to work on what you would never do. He said, yeah, we never thought that this could be done. I said, yeah, because if anything you want to do, you just shut your mind says, no, this route, no, we can't take. It does not work because you know too much. I don't know anything. So when I stow, I have the courage to fail. You have too much knowledge. So you before starting, वो चेस में जैसे है यू नो यू द ग्रैंड मास्टर यू ग्रैंड मास्टर तो आप तो 27वीं चाल सोच के पहले ही मर जाते हो राइट मैं तो चल देता हूँ फिर देखेंगे मरेंगे या नहीं करेंगे राइट
I can imagine like, similarly in case of pharma companies, right? A lot of pharma companies would have said to you, right? People are used to eating bitter medicines. Why do you want to make them tasty?
So I'm not saying that we want to make medicine. I'm saying things that would taste good have medicinal benefit, right? So now this is something that I've worked. It's a brilliant thing. This is turmeric lozenge. Each has effect of 9 teaspoons of turmeric. That's the potency of this. Okay, and it's delicious. I can keep it, and it's something which one of the 2 products that I said companies that tried this is the product. Now it's delicious, and the effect of turmeric. So turmeric is not soluble in water.
Yeah.
Turmeric is when you take it in your body, you take very little amount. Even if you take it in milk, you need milk fat in it for it to be soluble. But again, when it goes through your stomach, very little is absorbed. So you have to. So here, through my buccal absorption, it's like when people say, oh, for heart they've a problem, take that sorbitrate, keep it under your tongue, because your buccal cavity is connected to the blood vessels. So this is going directly to blood without going to my stomach, and I'm getting full benefit of turmeric. So now it's something you try giving. Like I have daughters, if give them haldi wala doodh, they say, what? Yeah. Right? Give this, and they're saying, oh wow, this is nice. Now, if you start thinking, start working, it's not that difficult. So yeah, I enjoy things like that.
Pradeep, so, and how do you think of scale and distribution? Because innovation on products is one part of it. But make it a viable business, you have to think of scale, distribution, and then execute it.
Yeah. So fortunately, numbers I understand. My dad was a banker. Brother is a chartered accountant. I'm good with very good with numbers. So that part I understand. So most of the time, trouble is that when you cannot put things in perspective, when you can not convert things into cost, effort into cost, product into cost, service into cost, and if you are doing things where your interfaces with people, where you're meeting a lot of people, you start to understand. You start to, when you meet people, you can understand what is it that they would like, how much they would pay for it, and if this is the cost, then what is the maximum people can pay, whether it makes sense or not. Now, all this is something for a person who is has some analytical ability. It's not difficult. I'm fortunate that I have that ability. I can put things in perspective. And probably that comes from my father, who was a banker, and he knew everything about everything. If this is a shirt, and he'll look at this, oh, this is this kind of cotton, this is this, these many buttons, this will cost this much, and it's okay, this is shirt. He'll talk similar about, oh, this pipe, this is galvanized iron, this is like this, okay, this many foot, and this, oh, this wire, everything. And you would get amazed that how does he know? He says, no, my job is to lend money and I have to understand their business. If I don't understand, so so right from childhood, numbers, thinking what it takes. So if there is a shirt, it's a half sleeves the shirt, take 1 meter, 50 to 60 centimeters. So what's the average cost? What's the cost of conversion? What is it? And if that's the cost, what's the cost of distribution? What's the margin? These are normally each industry would work on some parameters, which is not rocket science. There are not too many variables. There are 1, 2, 3 layers. That's it. So it's not. We are not talking Bitcoin. We are not talking blockchain to a level where it is that complex. We are not talking any of that, right? So when you do that at the execution, I told you that I don't like to do that. Then I would create an arrangement where it is done with somebody who would partner with me, somebody who would work with me, but they would become part owners of that. And I incentivize them to make money, and in return they make money for me. That's it.
How do you choose partners? Because now the brand is so huge, right? There's a pressure to be right, right? And
Correct?
so so the qualities which you look for in partners and what are the attributes you want them to bring to the table.
Right. So first and foremost, their value system. That is critical. They should be good human being. That's the first most important thing. And normally I would not look at business first and then say, okay, this is the partner. I'll first look at a person and be comfortable with that person first. I would have built some trust, some relationship before I move on to business. And then I trust. And not always it works. It fails also. Not always your judgment is right. It goes wrong also. Not always who you trust would stay true to that trust. That also happens. But largely, it works in your favor, and you say, okay, even if 80% is good, 20% is not, you will keep on refining it and hope that the next partner that you choose would be better than the one that failed you.
And Sanjeev, how do you split your routine between the various ventures and obviously your personal time and your own learning?
I don't think about it. I don't structure it too much.
Then you lose the joy of spontaneity. And
Correct, correct. So I don't, whatever I'll do, so I learn a lot, but at this, I don't prepare. So my learning is so much that I don't need to prepare. So if I may have to speak at United Nations, I would not prepare. This interview, they said, "Oh, we are sending you questions." I would not look at it. So high-profile meeting with president, I would not, because I believe that it's like I would never prepare for exams. I would learn. So once you do that, so for my work also, it's at times there are priorities I feel needs more time. I just, so something, let's say 15 days ago, there was catering to hospitals. I was not even doing it, so it was not work. But today it is there. So maybe 2 weeks ago I was watching some show or something. I'm not doing it. I'm just prioritizing it, and I'm working on it. So it's, fortunately, I've been able to manage. And if I feel that there is pressure, I just say no. I just say, so, okay. So somebody says, oh, that most of the time work is not. If it is your work, you know your timelines. Your team knows your timeline. It's normally it's the media who cannot plan themselves, who always have deadlines. सर कल शाम का डेडलाइन है एनुअल इशू के लिए. अबे एक साल से नहीं तुझे पता था तो मैं नहीं. I don't want to be part of it. Well, why should I be part of any inefficient system? Because you could not plan. It means either I was not important to you, I cannot be important now, or you are not planned. Both ways, I will not. So that's one thing that I'm particular about. So I remember years ago, this is when email had started, but it was a time when there was email and fax also. But in our office, I decided that we will not work on fax. Now email, that's the way forward, and that's how we would do. And so we didn't have a fax machine and nothing. But it was a time where it was still there. So there was a company who we were doing work, and they asked us to send a fax. We asked them their email. They said, no, can you fax? I said, we'll not do work with them because they'll bring us down. We'll not do it. And we just said no. And we told them what the reason was. They were upset. We laughed. It's okay. Well, we can at least tell a story after so many years also.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sanjeev, there's one thing which I want to ask, right? You said that you get bored easily, and you also showed a great power of consistency. You ran the show for 19 years. What's the mix in both of these? Because these are both extremes.
Yeah. So understand that when I say that I go bored, if there is a daily routine, right? I wouldn't do it. So for TV show, I created a system which is highly efficient, where I was filming for about 3 months. Filming, I was doing in 3 days, which means out of 90 days, 87 days I was doing other things. So consistency is seen to people, but from my point of view, it was, I just brought a lot of efficiency into my working, and I did all that work of 3 months in 3 days. So it never felt like that it's the same thing that I'm doing. And from content point, till date, I have never cooked a dish twice. I don't like to. It's boring.
Thank you so much, Sanjeev. It's been such an honor to learn from you through this conversation. Right?
Thank you very much. Thank you, and wish you all the best. And may you continue to learn. And my belief is, as you learn more, your ability to teach more happens naturally. So may you learn more and teach more.
Thank you so much, Sanjeev, for being on the show.
Thank you. Bye.